Hello YouTube and welcome to Mike and Bikes. Today I'm going to be doing a quick tutorial on rolling a short steep drop. I'm at Hawes Trail Network in Mesa, Arizona. Let's get to it.
Alright, I'm headed over to Dead Man's Gulch on Trail Forks. I think some people call it the chute or the switchback. See if we can do a little, provide some tips on getting through that section.
As we make our way over to Dead Man's Gulch, we come across a rock that makes a really good place to practice our technique. So we're going to take a couple minutes here just to talk about technique a little bit, how we sort of don't just push our weight back as far as we can to the back tire. There's actually a pretty specific time you do it, and you notice you kind of push your bike forward at the same time as you go back. So right as you get to the very edge is where you push your bike forward as your weight goes back. So you're actually keeping most of your weight on top of the hill until your front tire is over that first section. Okay, so spend a little time there. Now that we've got the technique down, let's head over to Dead Man's Gulch and put it into practice.
Alright, dropping into Dead Man's, with a chute coming up on it. Hard left and then it's going to drop. And there we go. Okay, come take a look at it from here. Let's see. There's the chute. There's the outline to the left. And we're going to talk about the chute today. See if I can provide a couple pointers here, other than just send it.
As I was shooting, I came across some people who walked the trail, and then others who took a look at it, weren't too intimidated, clipped out one pedal and then just rode it with one foot out. That's actually pretty hard to do. Very skilled rider.
I had a couple guys come through who had never ridden it before, and so I gave them some coaching and they said, not gonna do it. So I failed. I wasn't able to convince them, but let me work on it a little bit more. I didn't have a ton of advice to give them yet. I need to figure it out, make it look easier, I guess. I asked them like what made it scary to them, and they said it was the double drop. So looks like a kind of two drops. I guess people are thinking there's a drop and there's a drop, but really your line is actually, this is your line is straight down there. It's pretty smooth. First thing is the entry, but it has been smoothed out a little bit here. This used to be rough. But right as you're getting ready to line up, there's this little drop. So right as your front tires coming to line up, your back all of a sudden pushes you a little bit. And so that can be a little bit intimidating. And then you've got, you know, multiple sections here to kind of navigate.
So my preference is to stay wide, look for that first bump on your back tire, and then give yourself as much time as possible to try to straighten up going into the drop.
You made that look too easy.
It's easy.
You made it look way too easy.
Let's take a couple more looks at the line. You can see I stay outside. I anticipate that rear tire going over that bump first of all, and I'm trying to get straightened up as quickly as possible going into that drop there. But you almost go in a little bit, not quite perfectly straight. Again, just to the right of the gulch there, just to the right. So it's not a double drop, it's just really one single drop. It's the thought that counts, I guess. Let's talk body position for a second. Just like we did with the earlier rock roll, you can see that there's a moment where you push the bike forward as your weight goes back behind your back tire. So it's not just as much as just throwing your weight back, but it's doing it right as you push the bike forward. Now there's an alternate line at this same area. It goes over the rocks, and there's actually two alternates. One goes over the rocks and one goes to the left of the rocks even. And I thought, since I'd ridden the gulch several times, I wanted to test myself a little bit. So I thought I'd try the line over the rocks, which I'd never done before. So I rolled up to it a couple times, looked at it again, Rolled up to it a third time, still not feeling it. Rolled up to it a fourth time, and no. A fifth time, and I decided to take the line to the far left just to give me a feel of going down a new line. Felt pretty good, felt confident. So then as I pushed up back again, I was going to give that left line one more chance. See if I could get up the nerve. I talked myself up to it, heading up the hill. Lots of positive self-talk, and I felt like it was, I sort of owed it to all my millions of fans out there on YouTube that I ride this. I'm getting them to ride something that they're not comfortable with. So there I go. I stop and then I go for it. And from a first-person perspective, what does that look like? GoPro effect. Easy breezy. Of course, you've got to celebrate your wins. So that's it. Not a ton of advice for this one. It's similar to other rock rolls in terms of getting the right line, getting your weight back at the right time, staying off the front brake, and once you do it one time, it'll feel very comfortable and you'll never walk that section again. Enjoy your ride, enjoy Hawes, and we'll catch you on the flip side.